everyone. Welcome back to our course. Our topic today is translation ethics. With the international exchanges have become increasingly frequent, translation has become a universal activity. It is a subjective activity in which the translator reproduces the author's intention to the readers as much as possible through his own understanding of the original text. Involving the author, the original text, the translator, the translation, and the readers. The ethics scholars generally believe that as long as there are activities involving people, relationships between people, there will be ethics, and ethics will take effect. Therefore, translation can be regarded as an ethical activity. In 1984, when the French translation theorist Antonio Berman first mentioned translation ethics, it didn't get much attention. Since the 1990s, the study of translation ethics has received more and more attention. Among all the scholars, Chesterman's translation ethics have received the strongest recognition and discussion with the academia. Based on previous research, he posed 5 major translation ethics models. Number 1, ethics of representation, 在线伦理. Number 2, ethics of service, 服务伦理. Number 3, ethics of communication, 沟通伦理. Number 4, norm-based ethics, 循规伦理. Number 5, ethics of commitment, 职责伦理. Next, we will employ Chesterman's 5 models of translation ethics as a theoretical basis, combined with translation examples, to discuss this topic. Representation ethics requires that the translator must accurately convey the original language characteristics and the author's intentions without any additions, omissions, or changes. It puts the original text in the first place, with special emphasis on truth. A translator who holds representation ethics will naturally have a sense that emphasizes the loyalty to the original text. There are many examples in this regard, such as the English translation of 水浒传 by P.S. Bach, the English translation of 道德经 by Patrick Johnston, the English translation of 三字经 by Cyril Birch, etc. Language conversion or text reproduction is the foundation of the professional translation standards. However, due to deviations and defects in the translator's comprehension or language competence, they are often unable to perform well in language conversion, resulting in various problems. As you can see in this example, the method is according to the explanation leaflets of the company, as a compound preposition according to cannot be used as a predicative. We should replace it with in accordance with. The second is ethics of service. Following service ethics means that the translator must follow the client's instructions and achieve the goals set by the client. In other words, the translator must serve the client and be responsible to him or her. It is necessary to find ways to realize the realistic function of the translation, so that they are satisfied. For translators who uphold service ethics, customer satisfaction is the first element in their language service awareness. Howard Goldblatt translated Mo Yan's Red Sword family, 1993, Fu Donghua's Chinese translation of Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind. Zhang Lu's on-site interpretation of ancient Chinese words and poems quoted by Premier Wen Jiabao in his speech. These examples mentioned above have well reflected the service ethics of translation. Service ethics is merely derived from functionalist scopal theory. Translators should avoid radical functionalism and shouldn't forget the loyalty to the original text, and learn to make a balance between them. And the third one is ethics of communication, emphasizing the function of communication and the goal of communication ethics is to enable both parties to carry out cross-cultural cooperation. Pym is a representative of communication ethics. He believes that the translator mainly works at the intersection of two or more cultures, which is the interculturality of translation. Interculturality tells us that translation is intercultural communication. A translator who upholds communication ethics regards coordinating cultural and communicating with the audience as the first element. In the specific translation practice, such translators are very sensitive to the cultural factors and will consciously coordinate the cultural factors in the language from a cross-cultural perspective. For example, when a Canadian diplomat came to participate in the conference, the leader wanted to welcome them and politely said, 您远道而来，肯定是累了. Then the interpreter translated directly as, you must be very tired, which will directly cause the other party's misunderstanding, thinking that he looked very tired. A better translation is, thank you for making the long journey to visit us. The fourth one is norm-based ethics. The norms in the target language culture represents the reader's expectation for the translation, and the translation conforms to the target language norms and meets the expectation of a specific culture, which may have specific content and forms of expression. Let's look at a very simple case. 3个月的治疗为1个疗程. The original translation is, the treatment of 3 months is taken as one therapeutic course. While translating, we should consider the thinking mode of the target language readers and make some adjustment. Thus, we could translate it as 3 months constitutes 1 course of treatment. The last one is ethics of commitment. Responsibility is also a virtue, which encourages translators to pursue excellence and become excellent translators. Responsibilities are often publicly and clearly stated in the form of promises. It requires translators to reflect the corresponding professional qualities and requires translators to have at least the minimum professional standards, professional ethics, professional responsibility, and professionalism recognized by the industry. The professional ethics of a translator mainly includes 3 aspects: the translator's aspiration, sense of responsibility, and morality. Aspiration reflects the translator's sense of mission for the translation career, and the sense of responsibility reflects the translator's attitude towards translation work. The morality is manifested in the translator's personality and integrity. Translators can only show their inner self-consciousness through the external performance of their translation practice, regardless of the external standards and the internal ethical requirements, ultimately must be implemented in the practical translation. Ethics of commitment is of great importance among the 5 translation ethics. Well, that is all for today. Thank you for your listening. See you next time.